All right. What's up, and welcome to part one of the Legion 7i benchmarks. Just going to make sure the audio is good. Then I'm going to set this thing to live. Um, I'm really excited about this new gaming laptop comparison list. Okay, audio seems to be good. So let me go ahead and set this to public, and then we'll get this thing started. Okay, we have set it to public. So now we got to give it a couple minutes for everyone to hop into the stream. So I'm going to go ahead and go over the new laptop list as well as all of the different configurations for the Legion 7i real quick at the beginning here, just to give people a good idea the of what you can expect from this machine, depending on the price you put into it and the specs you buy. Let me grab the link to this and I'll pull it up. Um, all right, so this is the link here. Pull this up. Boom. All right, just like that. Cool. All right. Very nice. All right, now once I know that we're getting some people on the stream, I'm going to go ahead and do an intro. Cool. All right, we are live. Okay, so here we go. Let's go ahead and kick this off with an intro. Um, What's up, and welcome to part one of the Legion 7i benchmarks video. We're going to do about 7 or 8 games today, just because I don't have the energy to do a full 3 to 4 hour live stream. So we're going to keep it to 1 to 2 hours. Also, today we're going to go over the new gaming comparison spreadsheet that I've made, that I've launched on Listium. It's kind of like a beta version. We're going to go over that. So we're going to go over briefly the specs that I purchased that we're testing today, as well as the specs that are currently available. There's a link in the description to both the spreadsheet as well as the Legion 7i, which we're going to go over right now. So let's go ahead and do that. So here is the Legion 7i. This is the Intel version of the Legion 7. The I indicates Intel. You can configure this in a number of different ways. There's a link to Lenovo's site in the description down below, and that is an affiliate link. So if you do decide to use that link, it does help support me. So thank you very much. But absolutely no pressure to buy, as always. Only buy when you think you have a laptop that you'll love. So you can see there are 2 processors. You have the i7-11800H, and then you have the i9-11980HK with this laptop, and you, I believe, have to get an RTX 3080 if you're going to go with the i9. So you can't get the i9 with, say, an RTX 3060. If you need processor performance, you have to kind of get both, which is kind of a bummer. So like if you switch to this, it's going to be a big jump up in price. You can see it goes up to 3159. So this is the model we'll be testing. This is the base price for this model, 3159. But I think the best bang for the buck for this machine is probably the i7 and the RTX 3070, because this is only 2109. That's a very reasonable price for something that's $1,000 more, gets you not a huge jump in performance. So this is, I think, the best bang for the buck version of this machine. But this is still a great machine when you upgrade it to the maximum, because the CPU and TDP on the GPU is very good regardless. So I'm really excited about benchmarking this thing. I've got it all set up here. I've got all the games downloaded as far as I know, except for Microsoft Flight Simulator, though we won't be doing that one today anyway. What's up, Ethan? Yeah, I see people hop in the chat. Okay, so real quick, before we get into the benchmarks, I also want to show you the new gaming laptop comparison sheet. And this is something I'm really proud of. So you can see this is so my old sheet looked like this. It was I think it's fairly easy to use still, but it's not nearly as visually easy to understand, and it's harder to filter it, and it's harder to find what you're looking for. And so Mark, the head of Listium, he approached me and said, "Hey, why don't you bring it over to Listium? It's a new product that I'm trying to create." And so I'm one of the first creators, if not the first creator. I believe I'm the first creator to bring my list over here. And I'm really excited because not only can you utilize this list to filter stuff, like let's say you wanted to just look at all the RTX 3060 laptops, you can just go to filter and you go to model, type in 3060, enter, and now only the RTX 3060 laptops here are being shown. Um, and let's say that you wanted RTX 3060 laptops with the 2 thumbs up rating and a 5-star deal rating. Okay. Now we've narrowed it down to just 14 laptops. And then if we want to, we can do a slide view now of these laptops. And you can see that I've included text here that shows you the basics of my basic opinion of the laptop, the deal here. Keep in mind that these new deal ratings are 5 increments for both the thumbs and the star rating. So yeah, I think this is going to be really cool. Now you can flip through these, and if there is a video attached to the video, if there is a video attached to the listing, you can also click this video play button, and you can play the YouTube video right here on the page. So you don't have to go anywhere to watch my content. For example, you can stay inside of the list to watch the videos. And this is something that we're still working on tweaking, improving. And Listium's creator, Mark, he's working hard to improve Listium and add more features as well. We're going to hopefully soon add a feature to be able to follow the list and get updates when I change the list. And I'll be able to give you, um, kind of a brief description of what I changed each time I update the list. But yeah, so there's a link to this list in the description down below as well. Now, yeah, I really, really think it's pretty sweet deal. I'm gonna go over the list again in a little bit when we have more people on the chat, and we're gonna do a little stress test on the list. So yeah. Brandon asks me, I'm Brandon. Do you think the Asus will make an ROG Strix G17 with an i7-11800H and an RTX 3060? I don't know, Brandon. Asus seems to be favoring AMD this time around. Hey, Britt. Kevin, please test brightness levels when dedicated GPU is activated when using Advanced Optimus. I saw a big drop in brightness on my 7i. Interesting. Kevin, that's an interesting. So you're saying when you have Advanced Optimus, I saw a big drop in brightness levels. Okay, so I think what you're talking about, Kevin, is when you switch between the integrated Intel GPU and the dedicated GPU. This laptop switches its kind of the way it represents the colors, because you're going through the NVIDIA color profile basically versus the Intel driver color profile. So if you're seeing different colors on the display, I don't think it's a hardware issue. I believe it's the software that's working there. So you'll want to just tweak the color profiles in each setup. Okay, so for today, I would like to, I didn't tweak these numbers here. Let's go ahead, while we're waiting for everyone to hop in, let's go ahead and clear this off. Let's start off with, we'll start off with Warzone, I think is what we're going to start off with today. Make sure everything is closed down here. And very nice. Okay. So we can go ahead and do these benchmarks. So I've been using the Legion 7i, and I've really enjoyed my time with it. Looks like Origin has crashed. It's not responsive right now. Let me just go ahead and do a fresh restart on the 7i here to make sure that we don't have anything open in the background. Ethan says, yeah, I have a 5 Pro, and you can change color profiles on dedicated GPU, but not on Optimus. So it took a little bit, it can look a little bit darker or lighter. Yeah, Ethan, I believe that's the issue. And if you install the Intel integrated GPU driver, you can adjust the color profile in the Intel when you're running on the Optimus, for better battery life as well. So you got 14,000 instead of bench R23 with the i7. That's really good still. I have this laptop, and it's easily the best gaming laptop I've ever owned. Such a beast. I also have a 2021 Scar. Hold on. Also have a Scar 17, but am selling that ASAP. Asus really screwed the pooch with Optimus this year. And I think Asus, the laptops are still really good. It's just when you get down to comparing performance benchmarks that the lack of a mux really kind of hurts their bottom line for their benchmarks performance. But I still think the overall user experience is still really good on my Scar 15. Played like 4 hours of Apex Legends on that thing, and it was a great experience still. Did I notice that maybe it got a little bit less FPS than the Legion 7i would get? I did not notice the difference. But I'm sure there is a difference, and we definitely want to have the most possible. Hey, kids, what's tech? I replaced my X17 with Gum and mixed. Okay, yeah, Mr. Appreciate. That's pretty cool. Yeah. How hard was repasting your X17? Did you say it's hard, easy, medium difficulty? Because you would think that I would think there would be at least a moderate difficulty because of how thin it is, and I believe it's an inverted motherboard as well, so it's a bit more complicated probably than some laptops. So we're gonna do the Call of Duty Warzone benchmark, and I'll go over the new sheet again because I think a lot of people weren't in the live stream when I went over it just now. So I believe we are good to go. So we do not have any overclock in here. We are in the performance profile in the Lenovo Vantage software, and we do have Optimus disabled for optimal performance. This does have advanced Optimus in that we can select the NVIDIA GPU or the integrated GPU. But I do want to mention that in certain games, I've noticed that it can be a little bit buggy in weird ways when I'm using the advanced Optimus mode. So I want to just do all of my testing with the basically utilizing it like a mux, where I completely deactivate the integrated GPU, and so we don't have any kind of drivers issues um, causing any performance differences. It's hard to know. I think it's mainly in the game Black Desert Online that I play that I noticed the performance kind of weirdness going on. But I haven't really noticed it in other games, so I don't know how widespread the issue is. And Black Desert's a really weird game for optimization. The RX 6800 performance just between the 3060 and 3060 Ti, so 3060 is better with lower price. I'm getting the Lenovo Legion 5 Pro with 3060 soon. How are the temps and fan noise? I haven't tested that specific unit, but I have done the Legion 7, which is pretty similar to the Legion 5 Pro, just slightly different. So you can check out my review of that one, and I believe it was pretty good all around. Alan Hugh, is the hinge fixed? I heard the previous Model 7i had major hinge issues. Um, so Alan, when I bought the Legion 7i, I did get the 4-year extended warranty program through Lenovo's official manufacturer thing. I just usually get whatever extended warranty. I think it was only like $80 to get 4 years of extended warranty. I think that's insanely good. But I have had no issues with the hinge at all. It feels super solid, um, and it feels great so far. I don't know. As far as I know, it's good, and yeah, it's very cheap to get the extended warranty from Lenovo's official page. So unless they changed their prices, last time I tried it, it was very good pricing. Um, so I was like, oh, okay, well, it's $20 more to get to 4 years instead of 3 years. I'll just do the 4-year plan. Though I doubt I'll keep the laptop that long, or at least it won't be my main laptop for that long. I switch laptops a lot. Original the creator. Hey Gizmo, did you get the 64 gig RAM on this one? No, so I've been waiting to do these live streams before I switched off of the Scar 15. I've got the Scar 15 right here, live streaming off the Scar 15. So I wanted to do all my benchmarking on this first, with all the stock stuff before I swapped in the extra, the the 16 terabytes of SSD space and the 64 gigs of RAM. So. Can you buy the extended warranty after the purchase? Jason the Berry, I'm not sure, but most stores that offer extended warranties will let you uh, they will let you add the extended warranty as long as you're within the original return period, because they would rather you add the return warranty rather than return it and buy a new one with the warranty, because that's what people oftentimes would do if they couldn't get it added. So it just depends on the company and what their policies are. 4-year on-site is now 129. That's still really, really cheap overall, Alan. So plus that comes with does that come with accidental coverage too? I think it's something insane like that. Like really, really, at least on paper, the extended warranty seems very good. And from what I've heard, uh, they they come to your house and fix it. You don't even have to ship the laptop to them. At least if you're in the United States. But like, I imagine the quality will vary a lot depending on which tech they send out to you. So, okay, so here we are, Call of Duty Warzone. I've got Afterburner up so we can see the stats. Let's go ahead and check out what uh, our graphics are all set to. Okay, so we are going to do for all the benchmarks today, we're going to do QHD and Full HD. But like I said, this is just part one. We're going to do about 7 games today, and then I'll do a part 2 of this benchmarks. So when we'll do the rest of the benchmarking suite, probably later this week. Okay, so we're at 2560 by 1600 resolution. We'll do that 16 by 10 QHD, and then we will do. Okay, so we're all on low. This looks like it's except for depth of field. We want that disabled. So we're going to do full HD, 1080p, and then we'll do this 16 by 10 QHD as our 2 testing settings. Cool. I think that's all good. So we're going to start off with the practice mode and see what kind of FPS we get. What's up, Archer? Welcome to the stream. Is it worth to get the 3080 16 gigs over the 3070 8 gig version? Alan, if you do VR or if you know you're going to play games that need a lot of VRAM, maybe, but most games don't need that extra VRAM. Uh, it's a very expensive upgrade going to the 3080, so I think most people won't need to pay for that to upgrade to that. So um, you're basically getting minimal performance gain for your money because I think it's $1,000 to go with the i9 and the RTX 3080. So I think most people would rather go with the 3070 and the i7. But for people that just want the most possible performance, that's and money's not really that big of an issue. Like they're willing to spend an extra $1,000. They plan to keep the laptop a long time. That's when I think the i9 3080 is the right way to go if you plan on keeping the laptop for 4 or 5 years. Did I overclock it? No, this is not undervolted and this is not overclocked. I should probably double check that it's not undervolted, but as far as I know, I've not been running it with an undervolt and it's been running fine without an undervolt. But yeah, let me check. I want to make sure that it's not, the undervolt hasn't carried over. So close this, make sure nothing else is open. Yep, yep, yep. Okay, I think we're looking good there. Make sure IntelliXU is closed again as well. Okay. So the undervolt is still applied. Quick poll, guys. Do you want to see the benchmarking with the undervolting or the benchmarking without the undervolting? So I've been perfectly stable at minus 0.08 for the undervolt. Let me know, chat. Um, I used to do all my benchmarking with undervolts enabled, and then I switched it to where I don't do any of the undervolting enabled, so it's all stock. I I would rather do it all stock personally, I think. Without. It looks like you guys are pretty split on it. Um, I'm gonna probably just restart the training mode here. But I'm gonna go ahead and do it without the undervolt because I think that's gonna be just it should be still very similar performance, but the temps are gonna be a little bit worse, basically, unless we are thermal throttling in the game. Okay, so we're doing it without the undervolt for this benchmarking session. All right, so here we are. Sandor M with the $2 super chat. Thanks so much. Thanks for your new comparison list. Great job. Thanks, Sandor. I'm glad you like it. Okay. Let's go ahead and leave this. We're gonna restart this because I had to. I was alt tabbing out in and out. No undervolt, no OC. Let's be fair. Yeah. No, I think there's a lot of people that want both. They would love to see both. To be able to see the comparison in performance, and that may be worth a whole separate video. But I think keeping it consistent. Like lately, I've been doing it without undervolting, so let's just keep it that way. Is the RAM upgraded? No, this is the stock 16 gigs RAM that came with the laptop. But I will be upgrading it to the 64 gigs from my Scar 15 soon here. Okay. So let's go ahead and get this. This will be our benchmark run. We're going to do QHD and Full HD. Right now we're in 2560 by 1600 resolution. All settings are low. Person suit says, question, if you're able to check, I had a Legion 7i that had a strange high-pitched noise when playing any audio at any volume. It's not loud, but if you mute and unmute, it was there. Is it yours too? I've never noticed any high-pitched squealing noise. Is it, did you have coil whine on your machine maybe? Um, is it like if you go down to a certain part of the laptop, maybe a specific portion of the motherboard, or that's the kind of thing that's going to vary from machine to machine a lot. Okay, here we are. All right, so let's see what we get at QHD. So 130 so far. So this is going to represent basically the kind of performance you might expect at QHD, 16 by 10 aspect ratio in the rural sections of the game, like the primarily GPU bound sections. Notice our CPU is pulling about 44 watts. Our GPU is reaching 140 to 145-ish watts. So not quite maximizing the potential of the GPU, but pretty close. 97% GPU utilization. That's still really good. Okay, so we averaged 128. I'm curious about the 1% low. We had a little bit of a stutter that reduced our 1% lows dramatically. I'm going to restart that. Okay. Looks like the little blip that caused the 1% low to dip is not there. So let me go ahead and put this in here, and then we'll switch over. I need to remove all of this old data that's not for this laptop on the benchmarks screen here. Removing this. Good, good. This was for the RX 6800M. Those benchmarks were. Okay, so for the Legion, sorry, Warzone, all low training. We had QHD. We did 128, 100. All right, and let's go ahead and go down to 1080p. All right, now this does stretch it a little bit, like vertically. Um, Interesting. We're getting the same FPS approximately that we were on in QHD, which to me indicates that we were mainly CPU bound, which we're not normally CPU bound here. I would expect higher FPS right here. I mean, our processor is sitting at 4.5 gigahertz, which is exactly where we want it to be. That's really, really good. That's like the base clock, basically, when we're utilizing across all cores. Our FPS is going up, interestingly enough. And there's a lot more smoke on the display, so I kind of want to restart this again because I don't think it's a fair comparison because it took too long for me to start into the 1080p section. So I'm gonna veto this result and we're gonna try again. What's the SSD size on this laptop? It's a 1 terabyte out of the box, but I think you can upgrade it, and there is a secondary slot. You can upgrade it on Lenovo's site. Are you going to play Valorant? Not in this session, Esmit. It's the slow RAM, maybe. Yeah, it could be related to the RAM, but I would still expect higher. You know, I would expect closer to 150 to around 150 to 155 is what I would expect. So we'll see. Have you done Cyberpunk yet? No, I have not done Cyberpunk. Today, I think we're going to do Warzone, uh, Cyberpunk, Red Dead Redemption, Far Cry 5. Basically, a lot of the AAA titles is the goal for today. Oh, wow, look at that. Over 200 FPS right now. So that's a pretty big difference compared to what we were. But I mean, we are in the sky. It's not the same situation. So sky, I think you get a little more FPS. Lewis Hill with the $5 super chat. Thanks so much for the support there. It does mean a lot. Thank you so much. Okay, so let's go ahead and see what we get. You know, and I think the ideal thing for me is that this could reach 165 FPS in QHD, but that's not going to happen, right? Uh, but yeah. Okay, so let's see. I mean, maybe with an overclock, and you go down to 1080p. I don't know. Okay, so we are getting quite a few more. 149, averaging 145. I mean, 145, 143. Interestingly enough, our CPU is not being pushed as high as it was, probably because the fog wasn't as thick as before. Keep in mind that this Warzone, they keep minorly tweaking this Warzone training thing, so this may not be a fair, accurate representation of the performance for some of the other machines out there. But 135.97, I think, is what we're going to go with. So, because it seems like that's what we're seeing approximately 2 times in a row. Let's go ahead and I'm going to switch it back to QHD. And I think if anything, this shows you that in some games, you're not even going to see much of a performance difference between QHD and Full HD if it's a CPU-oriented game. Right? Let's go down and try to shoot some peoples, some bad guys. Okay. I just have a revolver. Okay, I'll take the shotgun. I took the shotgun and then didn't even use it when I came around the corner. Oh god. Okay, let's swap out this gun for this gun. Okay, cool. Man, Warzone is such a good game in so many ways. Like I love the overall feel of the game, the like the design, the fast-paced gunplay. Oh God, I ran out of ammo in my clip. Oh, I only have 11 bullets. I love aiming down sights. I love the fact that you can lay down on the ground. That's something I missed about PUBG, like sneaking through like the brush to try to ambush people. Like, and you can actually kind of do that in this game. It's something I miss in Apex Legends. Like Apex Legends is all about pretty much straight up fair fights, which I like that too. Uh, and I love all the abilities in Apex Legends, but like I don't know. I used to play Call of Duty Modern Warfare back in like 2010 or whenever that was. It was popular. Um, Modern Warfare 2, Call of Duty Modern Warfare 2, and that I ran a clan and everything in the game. It was super fun. Uh, and this just like Warzone just reminds me of that gameplay a lot, but in a battle royale mode, and it's like perfect. Pretty much perfect, except for all the cheaters. And that was one of the main reasons why I stopped playing Warzone. I feel so bad. I want them to fix the cheating problem, and then the game. I'll probably come back to the game more. Okay, so you can see that we're averaging right around 131 FPS, which is exceptionally good. There's still 7 people to kill. Um, I'm tempted just to leave this and go see how this performs in a real match. I'm gonna go for one more kill. Cool. All right. Let me check chat. Those temperatures are insanely good. Yeah, and this is just performance mode. I cannot activate max fan mode on this laptop. So these are just like what you would get just running the laptop ordinarily. So I think the temperatures we were seeing was very good. Like I think it was mid 70s to high 70s, rarely dipping into the 80s. Is the 11980HK that much better than the 11800H at 1080p? George, I don't think so. I don't think it's a massive difference. I would say only go for 11980HK if money is not an object. Um, Otherwise, for most users, I would say save your money and go with the i7. The temps on this laptop are really good. Yeah, especially for the TDP that we're talking. It's very good. You know, pushing 140, 147 watts to the GPU right now, and temperatures are 77 still. And the fans really aren't that loud. You know, they're moderate sound right now. Okay, so while we're waiting to hop into this, well, eh, yeah, I'm going to show you guys the Listium new gaming laptop comparison spreadsheet one more time. Um, but I'm gonna wait till after this match because this we might hop right into the match here real good or real quick. So I just want to be ready. Don't want to have to interrupt that. When are you getting your hands on an Asus Zephyrus S17? Adam, I don't know. Currently don't have any plans to get one, but really I do think that's a very high potential machine. Very promising machine. Is the back of the laptop lifted up? No, it is flat against the ground. Um, yeah, it's flat against the ground with nothing blocking the vents. Um, I guess it's kind of on the mouse pad just a little bit, but that's it. But that's pretty much what I do every time I test it. So yeah, if you had a laptop cooler or if you had a laptop cooler or you raised the back a little bit, you would get a bit better temperatures. The wattage of the GPU is pretty good. I wonder what score you could get with a 3D benchmark demo. So Shika, I believe I did the Time Spy benchmark in the last live stream I did. So if you want to check that out, that's what I would recommend. Did the game crash? Oh no, okay, we're good. Okay. So let's see what we get for an average here. Oh, not enough ammo in this thing. Or my aim is not good enough, I guess. There we go. Okay. Ooh, we had a big stutter there. It's probably loading something in. I don't know what. That was weird. Oh, hello. I love that I'm ranking up my weapon while just killing, AFK people and stuff. You know how well the 11th gen mobile undervolt? Yeah, they undervolt really well. Well, not very extreme. Like you can't go to like you used to be able to do like a minus 150 millivolt undervolt, and you can't do that now. It's like about 60 to 80 millivolts on most of them that I've seen for it to be stable. But it does make a big difference still. So I do recommend it if you can. No hacks. I'm so excited. I've got my AMD Lenovo 7 arriving in the mail on Thursday. Keep up the hard work. Dude, congrats. That sounds like I mean, I really liked my time with the Legion 7. Uh, Congrats, it's a great machine. Do, 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 do. Okay, so this is the section we're going to run down here. So this is a very CPU bound section of the game. Basically, oftentimes you'll get similar performance on the CPU or on full HD and QHD in this section of the game. So 95 FPS, 73% low, or 73 for our 1% lows, which is very good. Let's try. We had that little stutter again, interestingly enough. It seems to happen like when it's like loading it. Like I turned around and it just did it again. I wonder what's going on with that. And I wonder if it's going to keep happening a lot or if that's just going to happen randomly. But the last time I played Warzone, I don't remember that happening. So there's someone jumping in late, really, really late. Or maybe they died and they came back from the gulag. Okay, so we got almost the exact same, again, 9676 or 9676. Let's swap it down to 1080 and see what we get at 1080. But it's probably going to be very similar, maybe it's a little bit higher. I'm curious what's causing the little stutter. It's probably something related to game optimization or drivers. I would love to see. I don't know. It seems to be doing it fairly often though, which is kind of a bummer. I have played many hours of Apex Legends on this machine, and it was not doing that in that game. It played flawlessly. So 104, 80. Very good. Okay, so let's go ahead and see if we can just find a couple people to kill. That stutter is normal in this game. The game is not well optimized for PC. Well, I've played a lot of Warzone, and I don't normally like. I've played a decent amount of Warzone on this machine. I've played several hours of it, um, and it's not done that from what I remember. So it's probably some recent game change. You know, they are constantly optimizing, changing the game. And it messes up the drivers or whatever, and suddenly you get like this a weird stutter in the game. Um, But it could be related to some kind of GPU driver issue as well, so it could be software related. I don't think it's hardware related, probably at least. Like I don't see our temperatures going up. I don't think we're thermal throttling. So, wait, did we not get any ammo from that? I guess we don't get ammo from that. Do I want this LMG? Sure, we'll take this LMG. Okay. Can I get in this car? No. I wonder which. There's obviously a limit on which vehicles you can get into and which ones you can't. Oh, here's someone. Oh, I can't aim this LMG. I can't see anything. Oh, let's go ahead and put in our body armor too. Oh, we're lighting them up. There it is. All right. He was aiming a sniper at me, I think. Yeah, this seems to be doing a lot better now. Notice how we haven't had a stutter lately. So, like in the last like 5 minutes, we have not had that little weird stutter. So I'm guessing it's related to loading in like part of the map or something. And it's poor optimization or a driver issue. But it's not been stuttering at all lately. So running in the open, we asking to die. Okay. Can I get in this? I guess not. Looks like a vehicle you'd be able to get inside of, but I guess not. So I think the one of the biggest things that separates Warzone for me from Apex Legends is just the number of players in each match, and the size of the map is just bigger. And then when you die, you get to go to the gulag and have a chance to come back. So just you end up fighting a lot more people nonstop inside of Warzone. Um, Oftentimes, or at least the matches can last longer. Has the potential. I'm obviously not finding anyone right now. It's kill, but so the way things go. Oh, oh, come here, come here. Oh, I hit him. I hit him. It showed the armor symbol. Ooh, we had that little leg glitch again. Didn't last as long though. I'll bet you there's some way we can optimize the settings in the game. Um, like maybe it's something related to the textures and we have everything set to super low. Might actually help us if we set it to higher. Because we do have a lot of VRAM. Oh goodness, I have another vehicle coming. Oh, there's someone inside. Someone real close. At the buy station. Hello. Got him. Oh, now we got ourselves a fancy pants sniper rifle. Uh, you got a fancy pants gun for me too? I'll take it. How's the temperature right now? Like on the keyboard, it feels really good. The camera isn't quite focusing. Oh yeah, okay, let me. Is that better? Is the camera better now? I didn't realize I didn't quite put the display in the same spot. Hey, there's a loadout drop thing right next to me. Person Suit says $10 super chat. Thanks so much for the support. Appreciate it. Okay, people are fighting over that direction. Can you actually hurt people in this? Wait, I can keep shooting this? My sensitivity's so low I can't track the vehicle. Someone needs to kill me so we can move on to the next game. I am going to die. Which wouldn't be such a bad thing. Ooh, ooh, ooh. I don't know what gun to pick. I kind of want the sniper rifle still, though. Yeah, now it's fine. Okay, yeah. Sorry, I had the screen tilted slightly incorrectly. Let's see here. Isn't there a way to put the weapons away or something? Ooh, there's someone right there. Ooh, hello, hello. Oh, come on. Stand back up. Stand back up. Oh. Oh. I think some explosion went off over there and it did the little stutter thing. So I wonder if it's related to explosions going off in the game. We're going in here, guns blazing. Let's go. We're gonna get mined. What? Whoa. There was someone in here just a second ago, right? Where did they go? uh, someone kill me. So overall, right now we're getting great FPS, but notice that like like I think we would get more FPS with the RAM upgraded, but I think the FPS is not that much better than I was getting with the Scar 15. You know, it's like it is really good, but like it's not like game-breakingly better. You know, I mean, we are at QHD. I think the Scar 15 was getting around 95 to 100-ish in this area. So about 15% more FPS, which is noticeable. Like is nice, but it's not like it's still playable on both. You know, still very smooth on both. And I think it's important not to like, I guess, over. It's important not to trash all of Asus laptops. I think just because it's slightly better or worse FPS, because there's a lot of other things about the Scar 15 that it actually makes me like want to stick with the Scar 15. Like the keyboard is so nice on the Scar 15. The smaller size. I love the fact that the Scar 15 doesn't get that. The chassis doesn't get hot because it's not metal; it's a plastic build. You know, like it's like plastic material, and it just doesn't conduct the heat, so the chassis feels cooler, generally speaking. So, and then the speakers on the Scar 15 are a little bit better as well than the Legion 7i. So there's like those are like three areas where the Scar 15s I think a little bit better than the Legion 7. But I'm still a performance junkie, so ultimately, and the display. I love the 16 by 10 display as well. Okay. All right. So I'm just gonna go ahead and I can't get anyone to kill me, so we're just gonna go ahead and end it there. GG's. We had 2 kills. That was very nice. Okay. Okay. So very good performance overall in Warzone, except for the stutter. A little bit weird. I don't know why we were going on while we were getting that. It looks like the stream may be having a bit of oop, like looks like the stream may be stuttering a little bit. Let me know, guys, what's going on. But I think okay. Looks like it maybe just had that bug with Firefox causing problems sometimes. Okay, so I really want to go over Lithium one more time, guys, and I want to do a quick experiment as well. So uh, this is the new site. Let me know if this. Let me know if the stream is better right now or not. I guess I can check on my Firefox causing problems sometimes. Okay, so I really want to go over this, guys. Is it frozen right now? I think it's good, right? Hello. A lot of stutter. Man, I think I think we're doing okay. Ever since I paused the YouTube stream, I think it's doing better. It's for some reason videos in Firefox kind of mess it up a little bit. Um, okay. Do you guys see this window now? You do, right? So this is my new comparison spreadsheet. Okay. Yeah, I think it's pausing the YouTube stream seems to fix it. So this is the new comparison spreadsheet. I'm really excited about this, and I think a lot of people are gonna really like this a lot. But Listium is this new list website that lets you create lists and share lists. And I brought my list of gaming laptops over from this Google Sheet over into here. And this has a lot more functionality, which I'm really excited to show you. So, for example, you can um, filter laptops by a specific price. So, say you want to get all the laptops that are $2,000 to $2,500. I think you can actually type in here too. Yeah. So. Um, that's good. And then let's say I want the 3080 laptops. Okay. And just by doing that, now I've got all the laptops that have RTX 3080s between those two price ranges. And then I can go, like, for example, there's different views here. So now I can look at these in a card view. I can look at these in a overall list view. Some of these views are kind of redundant, and they're still improving this. You got thumbnail view. You've got slide view, so you can look at a detailed explanation of, like, or a brief explanation of what I think about that particular listing, that laptop configuration. You can see the benchmarks and my ratings here. And I have done two new ratings. One's worth buying, which is out of it's like five different ratings. You get 2 thumbs up, 1 thumb up, a sideways thumb, which is kind of like can be good depending on what you need. Like I say, you need an OLED screen or something, and it has an OLED screen. Um, and then you have thumbs down and 2 thumbs down. So 2 thumbs down, definitely don't recommend. 1 thumbs down, generally wouldn't recommend unless it's like on a big sale. 1 thumb sideways is generally wouldn't recommend unless it fits your needs specifically. 1 thumb up is it'll make a lot of people happy, but it's not my optimal pick. And then 2 thumbs up generally means it's a really good buy for the overall versus the other laptops in that price point. Now I also have the deal rating, which is primarily focused around the cost versus specs you're getting at the retail price. It does not factor in when the laptops go on like a big discount or whatever. If it goes on a big discount, the deal rating obviously would go up most likely. If if a laptop's on sale $500 off, the deal rating is only a 2 out of 5 stars. It's not reflecting that sale unless I change the list and I constantly update it with each pricing. But I'm putting that on hold for right now. Now there are links to where you can buy the laptop, and also there'll be detailed review links. here at the bottom as well, on a lot of the listings, not all of them. And then last view here is the comparison view, which you can see all of the listings side by side as well as their benchmarks. Um, and then the little mini review here is on the bottom. I want to move this mini review up higher, but this list is still a work in progress. We got a lot of things we want to add to it and ways to improve it, including ways to follow the list, get updates on the list. Um, I want to add the weight of the laptops. I want to add like the GPUs in a separate column, so it's a little bit easier. But right now, the filter function here is really cool because you could type in Alienware, you could type in 3060, you could type a processor in there, you could type in, for example, QHD, and then I want 2-star, 2 thumbs up with a QHD, and I want a 5-star rating on the deal. And then boom, those are all of the laptops with the QHD display with 5-star deal rating and 2 thumbs up. So this is like a really good way to narrow down laptops. And from there, you could also narrow down the price. Like, oh, I want only things that are less than $3,000 or whatever. So really powerful tool to help people figure out what laptop to buy. And I would love for your guys' feedback on that list. It's really cool. So, okay. Tobin Gag says the Legion 7 Slim has advanced Optimus. Really interesting. Thanks for letting me know, Tobin. I'll have to take a look at that. Okay, so is the did all of that make sense? I really I think people are gonna enjoy that list. I'm gonna have a number of polls on my YouTube community page to go over that, but because I'm just looking for feedback on that overall right now. So I'm gonna have some polls on my community page about like is the ratings too harsh? What things would you want to most have added to the list? Stuff like that. Okay, let's move on. New games or more games to test. We've got the uh, Far Cry 5, Red Dead Redemption 2. Let's go ahead and knock those out. Probably do The Witcher 3 and Cyberpunk 2077. So let's do Far Cry 5 next. By the way, did I say thank you to Produce the Beats? Thanks so much for the $2 super chat. And he says, just saying thanks for the work you do. I love computers and laptops so much. Dude, Bluesmith, me too. It just means so much to me as an individual person, like what a laptop can do for you. Um, it's so nice. Being able to, play games on the go or edit videos on the go or just browse the web, listen to music, do your work. Like so many different things you can do on a laptop. It's kind of unreal. The spreadsheet that you created is one of the greatest things ever. Thanks. Yeah, and if you guys have any feedback on the spreadsheet, please let me know if you see things that are glitching out. Take a screenshot of it and email it to me. Um, if you have more detailed feedback, shoot me an email with the detail. The mobile site for the list freezes on the iPad. Okay, Brett, if you could take like a short video of what's going on when you're causing it to freeze, I think the creator of Listium would love to see that. The link allows you to edit. No, it doesn't. It'll make you think you can edit it, but you really can't edit it. He's like I said, Listium is still a work in progress. It's a new platform, and he's looking to improve it, tweak it constantly. So he's very passionate about the project. So know that it's not like the super fine-tuned, like really mature product. It's fairly mature. It's got a lot of functionality to it, but it's still he's still improving it. So uh, I would consider this new version of the spreadsheet to still be kind of a beta version in a way. Um, so just keep that in mind. Okay, so 2560 by 1600 for our opening test. We want resolution scaling to be 1. Okay, I think we are good. 3000 FPS. Okay, that's just in the menu. Oh, okay. So, nice. 130. That's very good starting out. Now it's going down to 98. That's not so great. So this is a fairly memory sensitive game. I would expect good performance here, but not amazing because of the slower 1RX 16 RAM in this laptop. Our GPU utilization is still very good, at least. Keep in mind, this is QHD, so this is actually, I think, really good numbers for QHD, 111. And this is, 2560 by 1600. This isn't 1080p. So can't compare this with 1080p numbers. But you can see our GPU utilization dropping a few times there. And that is probably largely due to the RAM, I would think. Hi, my G15 Advantage Edition is showing pixelated shadows in all the games and also has bad performance in old games like Far Cry 3. Do you think this is a bad driver or it can be the GPU? It sounds like a driver or a game optimization issue. Depends on what game you're playing that you're seeing those kinds of issues. So we got 111. Okay. Warzone. Uh, do. Far Cry 5. So QHD. Got 111. And this is QHD 16 by 10 as well. I don't know how to. I believe it's like WXQHD or something like that. There's like another abbreviation for it because it's slightly different resolution. Let's go ahead and drop this down to 1080. There we go. Okay, and I believe we get black bars. We get black bars in this mode. So see what we get in full HD. So 128 so far. Notice how our GPU utilization is dropping down. Whenever it does that, it's likely that we're becoming more CPU bound. Wow, 150 FPS right there. That was a pretty nice jump up there. But then we're kind of dipping down lower here. See, this kind of moment right here is where I think having upgraded RAM would improve our gaming performance pretty noticeably in those lower sections. Overall, 118 average so far. Probably going to go up just a little bit here at the end. How much did this laptop cost? I got it for around 3,500, 3,600, I think, including the extended warranty, and shipping and everything, I believe. So 121. 121 for full HD. That's still very good, but I would certainly expect closer to 135 to 140 with upgraded RAM. Okay, on to the next game. Let's go ahead and close Ubisoft. And Cyberpunk 2077, let's go. What thermal paste that is not liquid metal would you recommend? Tut, I wouldn't say that I'm an expert on thermal paste, but I believe For most people that want to repaste their laptop and keep it there for a long time, I think Phobia Nanogrease is a nice blend of long-term performance and good overall flexibility. Um, but it was one, I believe that was the paste that Bob of All Trades recommended. But I'd say check his channel and look at what he specifically recommends, because he's a pretty good expert at thermal paste. He does a lot of repasting. So your videos were really helpful when I was deciding how to build a desktop during the silicon shortage mining boom. Your stream opening that made up my mind to go this notebook. Nice. Uh, ROG Strix G17 R9 and RTX 3070 versus ROG Strix G15 Advantage Edition. Which one should I buy? So, hmm, I think if it was my money, I'd probably go with the Radeon, but I like the Advantage, the RX 6800M, because it has more potential GPU performance, but it's very close. Um, yeah, it's I think in more games you'll get slightly more FPS with the Radeon, but you'll also run into a little bit more driver issues with the Radeon. So if you're willing to deal with the driver issues that you run into every now and then I'd say go 6800M. Uh, but I personally do generally prefer a little bit bigger display, so I don't know, that'd be a really tough call. Okay, so we are on all ultra, okay, with DLSS set to balanced. That's the settings we're on. And we are in 16 by 10, 2560 by 1600, full screen. Okay, let's go ahead and see what we get in Cyberpunk. 55 so far. Notice our GPU utilization is very good at 98. So I don't think the RAM is going to be as big of a deal in Cyberpunk. Maybe in certain areas of the game that are more CPU bound, but I mean, this is an area of the game where you have lots of pedestrians walking around in the background, like kind of in the middle of the city. Ooh, we had a game crash. Dun dun dun. The plot thickens. Cyberpunk is flatlined. Let's try it again. Which laptop do you think is the best under 1500? So Arya T, go check out my new comparison sheet here. Um, and there's a link in the description down below to this. You can filter this and you can go to my section where I have 2 thumbs up with the deal rating to 5, and then just filter it down to type in here, maximum price, 1500, boom. And oh, I have QHD in there as well. So let's just take QHD out. And there, you can see my laptops, my top picks for under 1500. Probably the Legion 5 Pro is right up there, along with the Strix G15, Legion 5, Omen 15Z, if you can get the right configuration at the right price, maybe. I think the Dell G15 and Gigabyte G5, Omen 15T, these are on the lower side, but they're also on the cheaper side, so it depends on what your price, if you actually want to spend 1500 or not. Um, does this have 16 or 32 gigs? This is 16. And yeah, I do believe the 32 gig version is a bit faster RAM. The high-speed HyperX kit from Owner Disown at Seba Riviera. Yeah, I haven't done a deep dive into which of the RAM choices are the absolute best in terms of raw performance yet. It's one of the things that is kind of on my radar that I want to do. Um, I have been happy with the RAM performance that I got in my 64 gig kit from, I believe it's, I believe it's a Crucial kit in that I have in my Scar 15. But um, but yeah, so dun 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 dun. Let's see if it crashes again. It was interesting. This is the first time. It's crashing the Cyberpunk economy. Is it justified to pay $300 more for a 3060 Legion over a 3060 Nitro, considering everything else is the same? Well, not everything else is going to be the same between the Legion and the Nitro because the build quality on the Legion is going to be better. And you believe you'll pretty much guaranteed get a better display. Maybe not guaranteed, but likely we'll get a better display on the Legion. And I think the keyboard and touchpad, from my experience, has been better on the Legion as well. So I think you're getting like just a better overall package. But at a $300 difference, it may or may not be worth it. It's kind of up to you whether you how tight you are on your money, you know. But I think if you're looking to keep the laptop long term, I think you'll be happier with the Legion on average. Any plans on reviewing the Zephyrus S17? Not yet. Um, I did email Asus asking if they want to send me one, but I don't think I heard a response. So we'll see. Watch Dogs Legion is a really good game to test out PCs. Yes, that's on the plan for a little bit here. We're firing up that Watch Dogs Legion. Okay, so far averaging 53 FPS, 44 for a 1% low. Very good clock speed here. Notice our CPU temperatures did get above 90 there for a moment. Temperatures are coming down. Okay, so there's the end of the test. 5344. So very good. Very good performance for the resolution that we're doing this at. Okay, so we have RTX on Ultra, DLSS on Balance, T 16 by 10. We got 5344. Very nice. Let's go ahead and go back to the beginning of the test. And we'll switch this over to full HD. And we'll switch it to quality as well. Because that's the way I test. I do QHD on balance and full HD on quality. That's because that's largely going to give you a similar visual experience is the reason why I do that. Okay, we are good to go. Boom. All right, let's see what we get for full HD. Legion 7i versus Alienware X17, which is better? I'm an animator inclined towards content creation and casual gaming. Should one invest or so or other budget options? Are there other budget options? Well, I think probably your best bet would probably be like if your budget option budget would probably be like the Legion 7i with an i7 and an RTX 3070. That's probably what I'd recommend for most people. But if you want a higher color gamut screen, the Alienware does have that 4K 100% Adobe RGB. It's going to give you a bit more color to it. That's probably one of the main differences between the two from a designer perspective. Did we crash again? Oh man. Looks like we crashed again. 6754 was our FPS. We were almost done with the test too. Interesting that we're crashing. Because I have not had, I think this is the first, so I think the whole computer locked up here too. And this is the first time, the entire time I've been using the Legion 7i, that this is locked up like this. Go ahead and do a full reboot. How's editing performance on these flagship gaming laptops, like timeline scrubbing, rendering speed? So CamiTube, it's going to heavily depend on what your settings are for your camera that's recording. Like the codec that you record in will make the biggest difference in terms of how smooth the edit experience will be on scrubbing on the timeline. So like for example, if I record on my A7S with like 10-bit, I think 422, very high color gamut and a high like 300 megabytes per second records bit rate, Oh, it's not going to be smooth on anything, even desktops. It's going to be stuttery. It's going to be a stuttery mess unless you pre-render your clips, and that's going to be true for basically all of the machines, pretty much. Maybe certain highly specialized computers could do it. Maybe depends, like some codexes, but yeah, if you use the right codec, then it's a very smooth editing experience on the Scar 15 and on the Legion 7i. It's going to be good. It's going to be very good. Let's get Cyberpunk reopened back up again. Very interesting that it crashed. I don't know why. I don't think the temperatures were particularly that high. Um, that said, the front top right below the display here does get very hot when you're playing, but you don't feel that. You don't ever touch that part of the machine. So I bought the Acer Predator Helios 300 with the RTX 3060 for 1700. Yep, that's not an amazing deal, Gamer. Sorry. That's too bad. You definitely could have got a 3060 or a 3070 or the RX 6800M for that price. $3,500 for a laptop that's unstable, right, Tenacious? Well, this is the first time it's ever happened to me. I don't know why it crashed. It's not something that's happened to me often, obviously. So, but it does seem like Cyberpunk did do a lot of changes recently. And I didn't update the NVIDIA driver in like a week or two. So maybe it's something that we should update the NVIDIA driver. Maybe causing some of these crashes, not having it up to date. Like our temps aren't bad. I mean, our CPU temp is fairly warm, but our GPU temp's not even close to thermal throttling. Thermal throttling being 87. Um, so we are power limit throttling right now, though. Interestingly enough, but I mean, it's kind of a weird um, because sometimes it says power limit throttling when the game engine itself is the one throttling it. So we got 6852 for full HD. Let's go ahead and switch to another section of the game. Do some fighting, like we always do. Do the sniper section first. Okay. Make sure the fans are on automatic. Yeah, this is we are set to the performance fan profile setting, and it's all automatic. You can't do anything but automatic on this machine. The X17 has GIMP speakers, not loud, not great quality for 3K. I sent mine back. I had bad chassis rattle from the speakers. Yeah, I did not like the speakers on the X17. One of my biggest gripes with the X17 is that you spend a lot of money for weaker speakers. Like I think they're just like they're average-ish, Or let me go ahead and see if I can. Let's go ahead and bump this back up to QHD resolution. We'll do a new average here. Oh, I didn't set the DLSS down to balanced. Okay. And new average. Okay. The only problem with this gun is it takes so long to reload each shot. So this is definitely playable, but I would definitely generally prefer to get a little bit more FPS than what we're at right now. You know, we're averaging 47. Game looks absolutely gorgeous, though. All right, so move on to the other section of the game that we play. I believe it's right here. Okay. I found that if the VRMs in HWMP return 87, it'll power throttle you. I don't know if you want to check it out, but that's what I've been noticing. I talked about on the Legion 7i. It could be that could be why we're getting power limit throttled. And that may be really good to have a laptop cooling pad. You know, that might be an example of where a laptop cooling pad can benefit you. Hi. Oh. Okay, let's go and get a new average here for this section of the game. Okay. Did this guy have a shotgun? Can I take the shotgun? I don't usually use the shotgun, so I guess I won't. It's probably better for the video if I try to keep it similar to the other laptop tests that I do. Whoa! They're shooting grenades at us. Ho ho! We had another crash. Okay, well that's still good enough for that section of the game. Um, let's see if we can get a driver update. So we're on 47196. They came out 12 days ago. Or no, that is what's available. But I'm guessing it's a driver related thing. Driver or software related, why it's crashing like that. Okay. Do you know any ways to boost my CPU power level since it's capped at 35 watts when gaming on my Nitro, even though the temps are still only 75-ish? So usually you can use Intel XTU, or if it's an Intel processor, you can use Intel XTU or what is that open source application? I'm blanking on it. Um, Undervolting for Intel best software. Throttle stop is what I'm talking about. Yeah. So I just remembered. It's throttle stop. So that's the other software. Yeah, it's weird getting so many crashes. So that's why I'm going and doing a driver update. I did do a Lenovo update to make sure that all the software on the Lenovo side was up to date, and I did that last night. So that should all be up to date. Gizmos Tech try Psycho ray tracing and DLSS balance and see what you get. So Ultra ray tracing and Psycho ray tracing is pretty similar. Let's see here. The red goop for the MOSFETs on and the red thermal pad for the CPU VRMs aren't enough to cool, in my opinion. I don't know if you want to open up HW info in the background and check your temps. Yeah, that's an interesting idea, original creator. It could be related to certain, like the VRMs overheating potentially. And if that's the case, then that's something uh, that Lenovo needs to fix in their software so that it power limits throttles before those reach a point where it crashes, you know. But so I don't have the time to keep running Cyberpunk to try to troubleshoot it. That I will try to when I make my Legion 7i review video, I will try to talk about the Cyberpunk and I'll do more testing um, to see if it's consistent, if I can play it consistently without it crashing on us, with the new drivers. Because I don't want the live stream to just be testing Cyberpunk over and over. Savior says I have a question. Yeah, man. Just asking. I'll try to answer as many questions as I can. Which laptop should I take? Legion 5 Pro or ROG G1715 or the new graphics card laptop Ryzen 7 3070? Sherlock Ross, that's kind of up to you, man. I think it comes down to pricing, availability, best bang for the buck, and like I have enjoyed my Legion 7i. It's been working really good for me, generally speaking. Done a lot of gaming on it the last couple months, and it's crashed more times in the last 15 minutes than it has in the last month of using it. So I don't know. I mean, I think it just has something to do with Cyberpunk there. It'll be interesting to see if this crashes in any of these other games. But I did test like 7 other games, I think, including Cyberpunk before, and it didn't crash on me last time I ran it. So it's kind of weird. Um, CamiTube says, Gizmo, people found out that the SCAR 15 VBIOS mod that you flashed on yours actually uses unlimited TDP. There's an entire thread on Notebook Review for this, and conclusion arrived after 30 pages. Really? That's interesting. Um, but I mean, it's not gonna technically use infinite because if it thermal throttles, it's like it will only be able to use as much TDP until it reaches thermal throttle. And then it will stop going up in power when you reach the thermal threshold. Um, or if it's hitting like max clock speed, basically. Okay, so we want VSync off, triple buffering off. We want this. We want this set to maximum. All right. I believe all those things look good. Let me just double check them. All right, so Vulkan, everything's set to ultra. All right, here we go. Bro, what do you think is beefier? What do you think is better? Choose Intel model over AMD for FPS games. Um, in general, Asmit, I think the i7-11800H is going to be the best esports CPU for the money, especially if you pair it with a MUX and fast RAM. So, like, I think the GP66 is a really good a really good model overall because you get a MUX with that fast RAM and the 11800H with the 3070, and that's going to be able to pretty much play all the esports games at really high FPS, close to what peak performance is on the highest performance, more expensive laptops. Do I think the Gigabyte G5 is still worth it? So the model that I tested, I think, is still worth it, Emilio, if you can get it for the price that I tested it at initially. If you can't get it for the price that I tested it at initially, then I'd say like if it's I think it's like 1250 or something. Check on my latest spreadsheet tab on the Gigabyte G5. But basically, I explained that like this used to be an insanely good deal at 1100, and I think it's like 1250 or 1300 now. And it's like at 1250, 1300, it's just an okay deal. It's not like an amazing deal anymore. And that's where I think if you're gonna spend 1300, I'd say go Strix G15 or Legion 5 instead. Asus Zephyrus 15 Duo or Alienware X17 for animation and content creation. Zephyrus Duo 15 is pretty sweet with those dual displays. If you think you can use the dual display, I'd probably go that route. But if you need if you need color gamut, they both have really high color gamut. So I don't know. I think that's a very individual preference choice type of situation. I think the Zephyrus Dual would probably have slightly better temps due to the open air, flip open nature of the display. Okay, so taking a look at our temperatures here. So far, really good. 73 degrees, or 77, 150 watts, 96% utilization on the GPU, which is excellent overall. About what I would expect for this type of scenario. We're almost to the section. So original the creator, are you talking about the custom fan control that people that the indie developer made on the Legion Discord? I haven't downloaded it or tried it simply because I didn't want it to. I mean, I would do it uh, on my own, but I want to test everything stock because that's what people are going to be experiencing. The vast majority of people are going to be experiencing when they buy this laptop. Um, I may test it for my review. We'll see. But it also needs to be easy to revert because I don't want to. I don't want to do anything. I just need to do some more reading up on it. Basically, I just haven't spent the time to read up on it and see what other users' experiences have been. Have you had any? Have you had any experience with it? Have you had a good experience with it? Okay, so really good FPS, I believe, for this resolution so far on Red Dead, 66 and 51. Very curious what we get at 1080p, 6550. 6451. I know that right around like 75 to 80 is really good for 1080p, but for QHD, I think 64 is exceptionally good because it's a big increase in resolution and we're still getting very good FPS. And we're on max settings right now. And QHD, very good for a laptop. So 6350. Red Dead. Where are you, Red Dead Redemption? Is it not? There it is. Okay. 4 up from the bottom. Okay. QHD 16 by 10. We got what was it? 6350, right? All right. Time for full HD now. Make sure nothing changed in here. It's looking good. Triple buffering turned on, so we'll turn that off. Very nice. Okay. Just wait till you undervolt the GPU and OC it. Really? Yeah, I mean, imagine it's pretty good. Some pretty good games can be had. Um, have you, I guess, what kind of performance gains have you seen? And it sounds like you've done it. Um, I did do some undervolting on the Scar 15, and I was able to get like around 5% ish, I think, gain undervolting the 3080 while having lower temps. At least in some games, but some games it was like the same performance with slightly lower temps. So it just depends. Gizmo, please compare the Legion 7i results with the Scar 15. I can do that on this game. Um, on the PowerPoint here, let me pull it up. I can do that for full HD. I can't do that for QHD 610 by 10 because I've only done like just the Legion 7 in that. Um, okay, so here's Red Dead Redemption 2. Okay, so in the past, I did test this. I did run this test earlier, previously, and I had 91 FPS. Let's see if we get 91 again. Um, I'm curious, because we did update the drivers. That was a test I did off of live stream. I wanted to redo all the tests again anyway because I did some of these tests before, but um, wanted to redo them on the live stream just because I think people like looking at the live benchmarks, be able to watch them themselves, see the temps and see the performance for themselves. Okay. Sir, do you recommend this laptop over other gaming laptops in the same tier class? XT, this is one of my top recommended laptops right now of the year for sure, the Legion 7i. It's a very, very good laptop, I think. Um, if you want to get my opinion on it, definitely check out the Legion 7i versus Alienware X17 video versus the MSI GS76. I posted that on my YouTube channel a few weeks ago, a couple weeks ago. So check out that video for all the details. But I will be coming out with a Legion 7i review video that's a separate video here hopefully soon. Okay, so 89 so far. So we're right up there where we were with the previous average of 91. We're just a little bit behind it so far. Yeah, so we're getting, I don't think we're going to make the average that we had last time when I previously tested this at 91. I wonder what the difference is. Hmm. Because that's a pretty substantial difference in FPS. 82 from 91 to 82. So the just for reference, the Scar 15 had 81 FPS in this title at 1080p. So we are slightly above what the Scar 15 did. So we got 8259, which is noticeably lower than 91. So 8157. So actually the same. Um, by the time I stopped it, it had dropped down just a little bit. So 8157. And I'm curious as to why we had lower performance. Um, oh, looks like the camera died here. Oh, we're not plugged in. Hold on. Okay. There we go. Okay, so you can see we had 8157 for that test. Are you upgrading the RAM on your Legion 7i? Yes, I will be putting the 64 gig sticks into this. Um, I'm not sure when that ran out. Did you guys? How much of that test did you guys see? Don't really want to have to redo it, but if you guys don't see any of that test, yeah, okay. So I'm looking at it. Looks like you lost about half of the test or so. Um, do you guys want to see it again? I think you guys saw the results, so that's good enough. You saw the beginning and then you saw the results, so we'll move on. Let's see here. So let's go ahead and jump over to Watch Dogs Legion, I believe. Unless there's one more Steam game we want to do before we switch. Yeah, we'll do Shadow of the Tomb Raider as well before we swap over. We only missed the last 45 seconds of the test. Yeah, I know. I just the problem with the Red Dead Redemption 2 is that it has to do like 5 tests before the actual test where I measure it at. So it just takes like 5 minutes every time I do it. Um, but at least you guys saw the end result screen, so kind of verifies the result that I got. Okay, so we're starting off with QHD. We're going to do the graphic settings to highest with RTX off, as we always do. Here we go. Did Gizmo elevate the laptop? It gives it more inhale space and provides better temper performance. Chew, it is not elevated. It is flat to the table. But yes, you are right. Elevating it will help a bit with the temps. Okay, so let's see what we get in Shadow of the Tomb Raider. QHD, and we'll also do full HD for this one as well. I believe this is all good to go. Looks good. Legion laptops are the best bang for the buck. Um, they're not always the best bang for the buck, but like for example, an RTX 3060 for $1,800 on the Legion 7 and 7i, I don't really call that insanely good bang for the buck because you're paying a lot for the premiumness of the Legion 7 and 7i, like the RGB, the keyboard, touchpad, the display. Um, so people on a budget, for example, would probably do better if they could get like, for example, the Strix G15 Advantage Edition for $14.99 when it goes on sale. That's insanely better bang for the buck, I think. Um, that said, I still think for $1,800, the 3060 Legion 7 is a decent deal, a solid deal. It's just not an amazing deal for the money, just because of the. It's only a 3060 for 1,800, which is a bit on the high side. But I do think the 3070 for 2,100 is a bit more promising. And the main reason why I say that is because the a 3060 is just not enough to play QHD games perfectly, where a 3070 pretty much is. And that's probably the main difference maker, is that they're that extra bump up in CUDA cores and makes a nice big difference for a 3060 versus 3070. Like puts it over the edge to be able to play the games better in QHD resolutions. Legion's Amazon prices are just stupid. Yeah, it's price scalping. I don't include any of the price scalp prices on the my gaming laptop list because I don't want to encourage and send people over to those people because all they do is buy out the legitimately priced laptops and resell them for $500 more and just make a ton of money off of it. And it's straight dirty. Don't don't put your money towards it. You'll be able to get one of these laptops, one of these really good laptops. Eventually, if you're patient enough, you'll be able to get a good deal on it. You just gotta wait, which kind of sucks. but you'll get one eventually. You just got to wait and camp, and you'll find it. You'll find your deal. A Legend laptop with a GTX 2060 in it and a Ryzen 16 core processor for $1,000. What do you? I'm not sure what you're talking about. Okay, sir, would you recommend the i7 instead of the i9 and the Legion 7i for gaming overall? For overall good temps, I think the temps are going to be pretty similar depending on what power limits and everything and what game you play. XT. The main difference is the i9 is going to have the ability to set your power limits, tweak your core clock speeds, potentially overclock that sucker if you want to like fine tune it. Um, like it is a bit of a the i9 really needs like a lot of power to really stretch its legs, like over 100 watts of power, and the Legion 7i can actually handle that kind of power wattage. So that's where I think the Legion 7i with the i9 is actually not a terrible choice in terms of your performance. Is going to be very noticeably improved from an i7, but the i7 is still going to perform really, really well, especially if it has a good high power limit. Okay, so we got 95 FPS in Shadow of the Tomb Raider at 16 by 10 QHD, which is very good. Shadow of the Tomb Raider QHD, 16 by 10, 95. Okay, let's go ahead and switch this down to 1080p, and we'll run it again. So, but in general, I think the problem. So it's not the Legion 7i getting an i7 versus an i9. I think the main problem is just the price difference going from the i7 to the i9. Like if you go with an i7 RTX 3070, it's like 2109 for the price or something like that, or around 2100. And then if you go to the i9, you have to also get a 3080. And when you combine those two together, it jumps up by over $1,000. I talked about it earlier in this live stream, so go back and check that out. But it's a big price jump for it's going to be a minimal performance improvement. It's going to be a noticeable one. Uh, it's hard to each game is going to vary a lot in terms of how much of a performance difference it's going to be. But it's I don't think it's the performance in terms of value for your money. I don't think the performance is necessarily there for $1,000. That's the problem. It's not that you won't see a performance difference. You'll see a performance difference. It's just not going to be enough of a performance difference to justify $1,000 price increase. If you're after bang for the buck, but if you're after the most performance, regardless of money, then yeah, the i9 is definitely going to be. It's going to be a performance improvement, just not like massive. It's going to depend a lot on what you're doing. Um, but I would expect anywhere from 5 to 15% on average with the i9 versus the i7 in terms of performance improvements. So it's not like it's a massive difference, and that's why I say $1,000 is not really going to be that worth it. You know. Monkey i7 10750H, 16 gigs of RAM, 512 gig SSD, RTX 2070, still good for 1080p gaming. Yeah, Monkey, I think that'll still play 1080p games pretty well, but at that price point, an RTX 2070 is not going to outperform an RTX 3060, so I wouldn't pay more than like $1,200 to $1,300. I wouldn't pay more than that for that Monkey. So, because you can get a $1,300 laptop that'll outperform that machine that you just listed. So that's probably around $1,200 to $1,300 in terms of performance, but maybe even 1,100 realistically. But it depends on if you can actually get one of those really, really high performance machines in stock that are like really good value. So just pointing out here, our GPU utilization is fairly low, which means that we are being bottlenecked likely by our RAM in this unit. So RAM upgrade will noticeably improve our performance here. Just got here. What did you miss? So we benchmarked a bunch of games. We had some crashes in Cyberpunk. Um, We got 125 FPS there, which is very good, but it would be noticeably better if we had the improved RAM. So 125 for full HD. Like I think we're probably looking at around 140 to 150 FPS with improved RAM. I think it'd be a big jump up for this machine. And then if we also undervolted, we'd probably see a slight improvement as well in performance. Okay, so our last game for today is going to be Watch Dogs Legion. We're kind of I'm trying to basically knock out all of the um, major, trying to knock out all of the AAA titles for this stream, and then we'll do a lot of the esports titles in the next stream. Um, there's gonna be some mixture between them, but most of the esports titles will be in the next one. So, like I'll do Fortnite, Apex Legends, Valorant, CS:GO, all of those ones in the next stream. So there'll be a part 2 to this stream. This is just part 1. How's battery life, Gizmo? So uh, I've had a real mixture of experience in terms of battery life. Looks like Watch Dogs needs to download an update. I'm not sure how big this update will be. We might want to just skip Watch Dogs and go and do that in the next stream if this is going to take a while. Because we do have The Witcher 3 downloaded, which we could do as well instead of Watch Dogs for today's stream. Um, but what was I saying? I'm not sure what I was talking about before. The other thing you missed in for today's stream is that we did talk about the new uh, comparison spreadsheet tool that has been released. There's a link in the video description to this if you want to check it out. You can compare and filter all of the different items here. You can sort by price, by performance. So let's say you want to sort by, instead of by cheapest laptop, you could go by um, times by GPU performance. And you could go, you want to do descending. So now here we have the most powerful laptops to the least powerful laptops. Um, you can filter this list. So you can say I want to have a list. I want to have between $2,000 to $2,500. You can have recommendation ratings, deal ratings. Um, you can have it be. You can filter so that you only show either a Mux or Advanced Optimus. Um, so you can do a lot of different little things in here to filter the data and find something that's tailored more towards your needs. And then the other big thing about this list is there is the slideshow view. So you can go in here and go laptop by laptop and see a picture of the laptop as well as the benchmarks and then a little mini review about the laptop. So this looks like it's download a 30 gig update. So we're just going to cancel this for now. And we're going to do Witcher 3 as our last game for today instead because that's already installed. I have to open Steam up again. Where can I find that spreadsheet? Linked in the description down below. And it's shout out to Listium, new platform that is like new platform that I'm utilizing for the sheet, working with the owner of the the company or whatever to improve Listium at the same time as basically he's kind of tailoring some of the features on Listium so that the sheet works really well for you guys. So kind of a big shout out to Listium as well and Mark at Listium, who's working really hard to make the sheet work as well as possible. Okay, so we can start at 1080p. We want Hairworks to be off. Ultra, Hairworks off. And then we go to post-processing. We do high. Okay, so it looks like everything's already set from last time I tested this. Is undervolting hard to do? No, Monkey, undervolting is really easy using Intel XTU. Hey, do you know if the Legion 7s also Legion 7 also have bad RAM? Yeah, usually the Legion 7 and 7i have, I believe, the same RAM in them. Okay, so here we are. So we're in The Witcher 3 at 1080p. It's usually a little stuttery the first time you load into a map area, so I always just run out of the gate and run back. Um, and that's just the nature of the Witcher 3 game engine. So as it loads everything in. Okay, here we go. So with everything on Ultra with Hairworks off. Carlos calling Hero back in. Oh, can you guys see the screen? I think so, right? Oh, we were talking about battery life on the Legion 7i. Yes, I have had decidedly mediocre battery life. I did uninstall the IQ software, and I still have only gotten about 3 to 4 hours of like web browsing type usage out of it. So not amazing. I'm still looking to tweak it more. I haven't done a lot of all away from the wall sessions with it yet. So 158, 108 for full HD for The Witcher 3. Very good, extremely good. 158, 108. And let's switch this over to QHD and run it again. Yeah, I use Intel XTU to undervolt Monkey. The other thing I do is hybrid mode and 60 hertz to maximize battery life. Yeah, you definitely want to switch to hybrid mode because otherwise your battery life will be really bad in dedicated GPU mode. Um, and then you also, if you switch it, when I was doing my battery life testing, I did not switch it from 165 to 60, but um, if you do switch it to 60, it's going to improve your battery life on the go too. So um, I think by a good amount, at least probably close to 45 minutes, I bet, to an hour. So maybe you can push it to 4.5 hours that way. Okay, so here we are, QHD, Witcher 3, all ultra settings with Hairworks disabled. And keep in mind it's 16 by 10 QHD, so 2560 by 1600. And very, very good FPS in The Witcher 3. Extremely smooth with no stuttering, basically. Look at 105 for our 1% lows. Beautiful. 115, 104. Okay, so this is the end for the initial benchmarking part one. We're going to do part two for our benchmarks. I'm going to go ahead and answer a couple questions and then do a little quick wrap up. Let's go ahead and answer some questions. If there's any last questions, I'll give you guys like 30 seconds to put them in the chat. Um, but otherwise, I'll go ahead and start talking about the kind of summary. So we had some crashes in Cyberpunk. That was a little bit disappointing. The performance overall was very good in the vast majority of titles. I did get a little bit lower FPS in a couple of the games, or at least in Red Dead Redemption 2, compared to what I had tested previously. About 10 FPS lower, which is a little weird. I'm kind of curious as to why that is. Um, Drivers, maybe some setting in the game was not correct before. I don't know. Or maybe I had some setting now that's not correct. Overall, still very, very good performance from the Legion 7i in pretty much all the games we tested. Um, I think the main thing that was a little weird today was just the crashing. Probably a driver-related issue would be my guess. Maybe Lenovo needs to work on updating some firmware. Uh, updating the firmware for the Cyberpunk, or maybe Cyberpunk software was just the cause of the crashing. We don't really know. Legion 7 AMD versus Intel. So I think both are going to be really great laptops. Um, whether you get the Legion 7 or the 7i, I would focus on I would say go Legion 7i if money's no object and you want to just get the i9 version with the RTX 3080. That's going to be the most powerful out of the most powerful potential out of it. When you compare the i7-11800H versus the Ryzen 9 5900HX, the performance is going to be very close. It's going to be very close. I think the Ryzen processor is going to perform better on battery life, where the Intel processor is going to perform slightly better in a handful of games because a lot of the games currently are more optimized for Intel versus AMD, but that just depends on the game. Um, so retest with super speed HyperX RAM, maybe. I'm I would be very curious to retest with faster RAM. I want to do. I probably would. It's just I've got a lot of things I want to test. I've got too many things to make, too many videos to make. So, um, best cooling pad. I'm not sure, Chris. I haven't done a detailed cooling pad test. Um, for the most part, the biggest difference between a cooling pad and just regular sitting the laptop on the flat on the ground is just if you just elevate the laptop, honestly, it'll be close to the improvement because you get better airflow to the underside of the laptop, which will be the main difference maker. Have I experienced any coil whine on this laptop? Not yet, XT. Nothing noticeable, at least. I haven't gone down and like done detailed coil whine testing, but I haven't had any experience so far having um, haven't had any bad experience with coil whine so far myself. Nothing that I've noticed, at least. How does Fortnite run on this laptop? Runs really well, as far as I know. I believe it should run really well. I don't think I've tested it yet. That'll be in the next live stream, which segments me to the next live stream. Um, I'll be doing predominantly esports games. There'll be a couple of other ones in there. Like we'll do in the next video. We'll do Microsoft Flight Simulator, uh, Rainbow Six Siege, Watch Dogs Legion, Fortnite, Valorant, and Apex Legends, and CS:GO. That'll be in the next stream, as well as Time Spy and Cinebench. Um, so be sure to subscribe, hit the notification bell if you don't want to miss out on that, and link in the description for that new gaming laptop comparison sheet. Thanks so much, everyone, for tuning into the live stream for today. That'll be it. I will see you guys in the next one. Brandon out. Huzzah.